Yeah, yeah. You want to try it or nice? But let's try. Let's so the what is the quality of the well, but let me put the guide so let me 60 so now I'm on 10 bits now. I can tell where the journey will end, but I know where it starts. They tell me I'm too young to understand. They say I'm caught up in a dream. Life pass me by if I don't open up my eyes. So that's fine by me. So wake me up when it's all over. When my eyes are ready.
Yeah, I think also he because he
Oh, okay.
ngizalwa capital kumtela blomeka.
Thank you. Yes, can I ask that we all please stand up as we welcome our minister and her delegation.
When I turn to the left, you become so angry. Yeah, to the right. Alright, sister. Have a little suggestion and a tripod. This thing would have been so hard. I was gonna give you a tripod like this.
Please can I ask that we remain standing as we place on the national flag. like to acknowledge the following guests: our Minister for Transport, Ms. Sindisiwe Chikunga, the Chairman of the RTMC Board, Ms. Nomusa Hamadi, members of the RTMC Board, the CEO of the RTMC, Advocate Makosini Msibi, the CEO of Webuycars, Mr. Van Vault, the CEO of RTIA, Mr. Mansimela Muloi, CEO of Kia South Africa, Mr. Gary Scott, the CEO of Insurance Crime Bureau, Mr. Garth de Klerk, Group CEO, Transaction Capital Limited, Mr. David Howitz, all of our Webuycars executives, RTMC executives, financial institution representatives, motor industry representatives, National Department of Transport senior officials, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Before we continue with our proceedings, I'd love for us to just go through some housekeeping rules so that we're all aware of the following. If you are looking for the restrooms, please note that the restrooms are on our left, my left and your right. Through that door right there, you'll find the restrooms over there. In case of emergency, you'll find that we've got an exit door directly behind us right here. The exit door will lead you down to the stairs, and the stairs will lead you to the bottom foyer, which will then have exit doors that will allow you to go straight through to the parking lot. Please, as we continue with the proceedings, can we ensure that our phones are on silent so that we are not disrupting the proceedings today? Thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Kusale Paile, and as your program director today, I must say I'm humbled and honored to be sharing with you this momentous occasion. A large part of my career has been spent recently working in the private sector across various industries, where the financial sector, legal, and most recently, the motor industry right here at Webuycars. So I'm certainly feeling very much at home this morning and excited to be here officiating this program that we have, where we are officially launching the RTMC and Webuycars partnership with regards to the online vehicle registration launch. As I was preparing for this morning, the one thing that really spoke to me and something that I really wanted to touch on today is the idea around leadership. Now, you may ask yourself why I decided to speak about leadership. Well, we would not be in this place today, in this particular space, with the types of leaders that we have in front of us today, if it was not for leadership. Throughout my career, it's always been assumed that leadership is from the point of having a title, from the point of having a particular seniority within the organization. And often when we assume this, I think we fall short, because what leadership really is about the character of the individual. It talks to integrity, hard work, resilience, a willingness to lead yourself even when no one is watching. It takes courage to lead. Now, as we continue to speak about leadership, I really want to highlight the two key leaders that we have this morning from the RTMC and from Webuycars. We are sitting today launching this private-public partnership with the leaders that are behind it, that are allowing us to really stand here today and ensure that we see this partnership go through to fruition and continue to see many more of these in the future. So, as a start, leadership as it is, without the likes of our own Minister of Transport, Mrs. Sindisiwe Chikunga, and the founder and CEO of Webuycars, Van Vault, this occasion, as it is, would not be possible. You see, becoming a leader is not something that happens by chance, and it's definitely not for the faint-hearted. It takes intention, it takes vision, it takes tenacity to overcome the many challenges that you experience as you lead up to a momentous occasion like today. I'd like to take this opportunity to commend both of you for getting this far because we are charting the way for generations to come. For those of you that have heard the Webuycars story, you attest to what I'm saying. A story of two brothers from humble beginnings, yet driven by passion, propelled by a dream to change the narrative and not be defined by their circumstance. It took time, close to 20 years already. It takes patience because they were not looking for a quick fix or a get-rich-quick scheme. Instead, their focus was on building a legacy, one car at a time, building their own technology, caring for their staff, prioritizing transparency and customer service. That is how we are able to be in this iconic building today, the Dome. But moreover, it being Women's Month, I'd like to draw special attention to our very own Minister of Transport at this time. Now, it takes a very special kind of woman to lead and play the role that she plays within this country. As a woman, you know that there are so many barriers. There are so many ceilings to break through in order for you to get that seat at the table, to be heard, to be seen. And yet, our very own minister has managed to play multiple roles. As deputy minister a couple of times, and she still stands today as our Minister of Transport. I know that it probably hasn't been easy. You've had to defy the odds. You've had to challenge the status quo. You've had to overcome a multitude of challenges. But here you are. So many women, despite whether they're going into government or into corporate, one of the things that they look at is they look up. They look to see who is sitting in the seats of the leaders of that particular profession that they're in. Because at the end of the day, representation matters. Being able to see someone that looks like you carrying out very senior positions, exec positions, ministerial positions, that matters. So we'd like to thank you, ma'am, for being driven to make a difference, for wanting to leave a legacy for many generations to come. I'd like to end off with a quote by Maya Angelou, which says, "Each time a woman stands up for herself, without knowing it possibly, without claiming it, she stands up for all women." So to our minister and the beautiful women that we have that are leading in their industries today, we salute you, we are inspired by you, we thank you for your leadership, your contribution to the country. The space that you take up does not go unnoticed. On that note, I would love at this point in time to invite up to the stage for the welcoming address, the CEO and founder of Webuycars, Mr. Faan van Holt.
Thank you, Lolly, for the kind and inspiring words, your staff. Distinguished Minister of Transport, esteemed members of the Executive Council and CEO of the Road Traffic Management Corporation, respected captains of industry, and senior officials of the Department of Transport, members of the media, colleagues and honored guests, I wish to extend a warm welcome to all of you on this significant occasion, which marks the commencement of a public-private partnership with the Road Traffic Management Corporation. This is a revolutionary step forward for vehicle registrations within South Africa. We are extremely proud and excited to be amongst the first to pilot the online We are extremely proud and excited to be amongst the first to pilot the online registration and notice of change of ownership system with the Road Traffic Management Corporation and the Department of Transport. The COVID-19 pandemic have emphasized the importance of contactless transactions and spurred the evolution of online platforms for conducting business across private and public sectors. Over the past 2 years, Webuycars has engaged in extensive development and testing alongside the Road Traffic Management Corporation. Now, this wasn't easy. We spoke earlier about how you lose resources in this space. So it's quite an achievement what we've done, taking hands and building something special. So today really marks a very, very special occasion. I'm pleased to ask that we applaud those individuals who work tirelessly to make this possible. Today, we are proud to be the first to operationalize the prescribed national legislation around online motor vehicle registrations. Now, the shift away from physical transacting and the streamlining of bulk services within registration authorities will undoubtedly enhance public service delivery. Additionally, this transformation will foster operational efficiencies within the vehicle trading and financial sector, facilitated by the online platform. These efficiencies promise improved service delivery for both public and private clients who will ultimately be the beneficiaries of this initiative. Honored guests, the presence of our Minister of Transportation and esteemed MECs reinforces our commitment to revolutionizing the transport sector. Your guidance leads us as we embark on this journey. This demands foresight, strategic planning, and dedication to uplift the lives of every South African. Thank you.
Thank you, Fon, for that wonderful welcome and speech. Next on our agenda, we'd love to introduce to you our CEO of the Road Traffic Management Corporation, who is going to be speaking about setting the tone and will also be introducing our Minister of Transport for her keynote speech as well. So please, I'll be invited to the stage, Advocate Makosini Sili.
House Bushland, as the program director, allow me to acknowledge the presence of the Minister, Honorable Sindisiwe Chikunga, the chairperson of the Rtmc board, Mrs. Nomusa, members of the board that are in here, Advocate Chikunga, Professor Dr. Terry, and also see our only prof when we walk in here, and I see Mr. Katsinga is not here, as well as Advocate Mkhacho. But allow me to also extend our greatest appreciation to the CEO of Webuycars, Mr. Farhan, the CEO of Kia, Mr. Gary Scott, the Insurance Crime Bureau, Mr. Gad Clark, as well as the Transaction Capital, Mr. David Howard. And allow me then to say all the management of the Rtmc, as well as the staff of the department and the staff of Webuycars, I've also acknowledged. Minister, allow me then, as we said the tone, my tone will be epitomized within a song that is
sung by one lady, Linda Render, One Day at a Time. The lyrics of that song tells us what we're supposed to be doing as the government. In short, what we gathered in here today is a manifestation of the policy of government that we are beginning to implement, amongst others, partnership with the private sector, ensuring that we make business more efficient and accessible and with ease, advanced technology. I know all of us are talking about the fourth industrial revolution. We have transcended that. I don't know what is beyond the fourth industrial revolution, but that's what Rtmc is ensuring that we begin to give the platform to the business sector, as well as ensuring that we serve our customers with pride. And the fifth pillar is to fight fraud and corruption. Minister, this is what this gathering today begins to put into practice, what our government has always been saying. And I'm not going to get into them, I'm just putting those pillars so that we understand what epitomizes our gathering today. This occasion, Minister, that happens at this momentous building which we used to come here when we want to dance, I don't think we have been stopped from dancing with it today because we're celebrating the launching of one of the milestones that government has been talking about, especially during the August month when we celebrate our women, led by a female minister, led by the female chairperson. So you can see that there is a chemical reaction to all those issues, that when women are leading, there's always action and there's progress. So I'm beginning to say that perhaps we must also consider some sex change to be like women because things happen at that particular level. So having said that, let me also allow me then to even begin to introduce the minister. The minister warrants no introduction. She's one of a person with unique characteristics, a person who is a well-read person, a person who gets to the minute details of what she's doing. That has been seen through her career in the political lifespan. For those that don't know the minister and those that are in government, let me advise you, never take a chance when you're giving a responsibility, because she has this enormous character of research, reading, and of course, interrogating. So if you want to know her better, ask her to do. And the best time for her to deal with you, it's about 12 midnight or 1 a.m. in the morning. So those are the hours that you always wouldn't want to be. But I will be making a mistake, Minister, if I don't acknowledge some of the people that we have lost in government. We have lost one of the fundamental people in government, Sean. I wonder how government will replace such caliber of a dedicated person who has made this happen. She had a vision 2 years ago during the COVID when she was doing things. And here today we see it. And Minister, it is a pleasure that we are in your midst. And I've seen some of the best in the insurance crime bureau, Mr. Lidenberg, which I know to Noha and Clarvas, and gave us a spirit that we full take that of the unrelated. It was a pleasure to see that we have this type of caliber in your midst, Minister. And I allow the minister to.
Thank you very much, CEO, for the kind words. Our program director, Ms. Mhlari, chairman of the chairperson of the Rtmc board, Ms. Nomusam Famadi, members of the Rtmc board, CEO Rtmc Advocate Makusile, CEO of Webuycars, Mr. Van der Walt, CEO of Artia, Mr. Matimila Muloi, CEO of Kia South Africa, Mr. Gary Scott, CEO of Insurance Crime Bureau, Mr. Gert de Klerk, Group CEO of Transaction Capital Ltd, Mr. David Hughes, I apologize for pronouncing your name, Webuycars executives, Rtmc executives, Chief of Staff, Ms. Nandini Temple, HOO, Mr. Chulan Mabaso, financial institutions representatives, motor industries representatives, National Department of Transport, senior officials, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, good morning. At least I can say goodbye. I can go as far as Africans. Me who Africans. Let me take this opportunity to convey a special greetings to all women that are present here today. As you all know, that this is our month as women, and there's no way we will talk about it. It is my wish to hear from the industry what strides have been made in mainstreaming women's participation in our sector, transport sector. I do realize that I'm putting you all in the spotlight, particularly industry. But I just also want to say here today, in a day such as this one, in my culture, I would have started a song and sing something, but I looked around and realized that I might sing along. And in my culture, on a day such as this one, where we are celebrating a milestone, an achievement, at least to say, halala Webuycars, halala would be right. So I say it, halala Webuycars, halala. Yes, that is exactly what we need to say, because we're celebrating, we're happy, it's a milestone, we're making history. We're taking one step forward. We're saying government working together with private sector can actually deliver to South Africa. And this is just evidence of that. So I recently also had an opportunity to address the South African Network for Women in Transport. And of course, the whole abstract initiative where women inspiring women in transport made an impassionate plea to be part of the transport value chain in a much more meaningful and recognizable manner. And I'm saying this because indeed, in our sector transport, we would want to see women also being empowered in many ways. And I would like to convey a cordial welcome to all participants in observance of this important event. A courteous and cordial greetings to representatives from financial institutions and the automotive industry. The challenge I raised earlier is at your door as well, that of empowering women. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are commencing a cooperative undertaking with Webuycars, with the objective of facilitating the digital registration procedure and the transfer of automobile ownership. This marks a pivotal moment in our ongoing efforts to improve the delivery of services in the realm of traffic management. The initiative of this is attributed to the implementation of the Electronic National Traffic Information System that we always refer to as NATIS, which of course started in 2007. It became apparent 15 years later that the National Traffic Information System would require enhancements to enable the implementation of online car licensing. Furthermore, there was an expectation that enhancements would be made to the system in order to facilitate specialized transactions with the objectives of minimizing the necessity for individuals to personally visit traffic stations. Numerous enhancements have been implemented to optimize the transaction process on the latest platform, hence promoting seamless and effective operations. Program Director, the purpose of implementing the vehicle clearance interface was to streamline the process of capturing police clearance online for the South African Police Service. Following that, an online high purchase interface was implemented with the purpose of assisting the motor vehicle finance and insurance industry in validating pertinent information regarding vehicles and driving licenses of prospective applicants before granting approval for vehicle finance or insurance. In the year 2022, an online vehicle licensing system was introduced, enabling vehicle owners to conveniently access services from their homes at any time of the day during the whole week. Ladies and gentlemen, the online licensing vehicle has experienced substantial growth since its introduction, with a cumulative total of 730,000 vehicle licenses renewed through this platform during the preceding 30-day interval. A cumulative sum of 1,222,959 renewals were successfully executed. The impressive results inspired us with a feeling of confidence as we approach this critical juncture in our efforts to improve service provision. The current implementation of the phase signifies a notable progression in our endeavors to digitize our services, augment convenience, and redistribute resources for alternative objectives. The use of online registration and transfer of ownership has the ability to mitigate the burdensome workload experienced by registering authorities, so empowering officials to improve their performance in several other areas. Program Director, the primary objective of the online service is to provide a digital platform that efficiently resolves the current challenges related to administration of registration certificates, thereby obviating the necessity for tangible documents. And I want to believe that the syndicates out there and fraudsters out there today, they don't feel good about what is happening here. And we are happy about that, that at least we're pinching them where it matters most. The suggested methodology entails the establishment of a secure interconnection between systems, facilitating the instant processing of transactions. As a result, the National Traffic Information System would ensure the continuous maintenance of an accurate record of ownership, promptly reflecting any modification. Any additional benefit lies in the continuous availability of the service, encompassing all 7 days of the week. This enables a reduction in processing times for the industry outside of regular business hours, as well as weekends, thereby enhancing the security and efficiency of trade operations. Upon successful registration of the vehicle via the online platform, sole authorization is granted exclusively to the individual named as the registered title holder to partake in any activities related to the vehicle, including but not limited to ownership transfer and acquisition of duplicate registration documents. The proprietor maintains the capacity to participate in transactions related to their obligations, such as obtaining licenses and maintaining the roadworthiness of their assets. When the title holder sells an automobile, the buyer can securely register the vehicle by utilizing the information provided by the title holder. We would like to extend our appreciation to Webuycars for their pivotal contribution as the early adopters of the system. We've made history, and we thank you, CEO, for their part. The partnership between Webuycars and, of course, the Road Traffic Management Corporation has enabled the systematic deployment and assessment of the system with the aim of detecting and addressing any possible operational issues. Your efforts have exemplified authentic patriotism, that of liking your country, and I commend you for being the trailblazers, and in our own language, we call you Amavulandlela. You paved the way. Program Director and guests, we are delighted to inform you that this initiative through Rtmc is currently in operation, and we cordially invite motor vehicle dealers and financial institutions and insurances to partake in this endeavor by actively engaging in transactions with us. We express our profound gratitude to the hard-working team of developers and specialists who have invested much effort behind the scenes to enable the effective execution of this endeavor. And we say in South Africa, we have such specialists, we have such good people here in our country and South Africa who always make us proud and remain just there at the back. And we take the pride, we stand in front and address you, and they sit and listen. When it's their movement and possible, that is being a politician. They do things, you come and you take the glory. And I really want to thank you because for me, as the Minister of Transport, working with you in the transport sector, for such events, such discoveries, such initiatives, such milestones, they make us to say this is what we have achieved. We therefore are able to count on the good things that are happening within the sector. And I just want to assure you that I would, and I'm prepared, and I would really want to work with the private sector. I'm one minister who is ready to receive a call or a message that says we want to come and sit with you because we've got something new in our minds, which we want to share with you as the private sector. Because what I've discovered over the 10 years that I've been in the transport sector is that on a number of things, we cannot work alone as government. We need the private sector. When we work with the private sector, things happen. I always say, just want to say something outside what we're doing here. I always say we have a problem in the rail sector, particularly the freight rail, because for now, we've decided that we are the landlord and the operator as government. And it's not working. Where we are the landlord, but the private sector is allowed to operate, things are happening. And I can actually give an example in the aviation sector. AXA is the landlord, but the operators are everybody. And therefore we have airlines flying. And that is why whether SAA is doing good or not good, but we're still able to fly. Because airlines that are owned by the private sector are allowed to operate. It will be the same thing with Sandra. It remains the landlord when it comes to national roads. But everyone, whether private or government, were able to use and operate on their roads. For me, it's the same thing. It should be the same thing in the rail sector, where we may remain as the owner of the infrastructure, but everybody else must be able to operate, so that whoever has a train to run and to operate on the infrastructure is allowed. And how we maintain that, we can decide on whether we go the concessionaire routes and everything, but then we have everybody operating on the infrastructure. In that way, we're going to recover the rail services in South Africa. That's my own view, and I want to believe that that is what even the national rail policy is saying, to divide, to separate vertically the infrastructure from the operator, and I want to believe that that is going to take us forward. However, these are the views that the private sector, working together with government, can actually nurture and make them well. We are busy with the private sector participation strategy, and they brought it to me, and I went through it, and I just said, I can't take this to cabinet. Take it back, go and engage the private sector, so that because they should be knowing as to what their role should be in engaging and but also in participating in the rail sector, and then come back and bring that to me. And I want to believe that in just a few weeks to come, we're going to get something that will actually work. We would want to see South Africa moving forward. We want to see all of us participating in ensuring that South Africa goes forward. I therefore offer confidence to the inhabitants of South Africa regarding our capacity to proficiently embrace and employ technology as a means to address the diverse challenges prevalent within our social milieu. I cordially invite all members of the community, particularly the private sector working together with us, to participate in the celebration of this momentous accomplishment alongside our collective. For us, we say thank you, Webuycars. Thank you to all of you who make this day possible. And I want to say it again now. If you don't say it correct, I'm going to teach you. Halala Webuycars, halala. Now you don't repeat what I'm saying. I say halala Webuycars, halala, and then you say halala. That's it. That's it. Halala Webuycars, halala. Halala Rtmc, halala. Thank you very much. Well done. What an incredible speech by our minister, and thank you for the warm welcome, Advocate Msibi. Halala Webuycars, halal. You are indeed very right. This is definitely a moment to celebrate, both for women, but also for this wonderful partnership between Rtmc and Webuycars. And thank you once again, our minister, for the willingness to partner openly with the private sector going forward. I feel like you just came and proved exactly what I was saying earlier, just about your ability to lead. I thank you for being able to say that you're willing to partner, you're willing to have further conversations, and you're wanting to see this country move forward. So thank you so much for your speech. And one thing that I wanted to touch on, I know earlier Sindisiwe was speaking about how we all remember this venue as a place where we came to dance, right? And I wanted to share actually a quick fact. I also actually remember sneaking in, actually through those doors. I remember coming up the ramp, sneaking in with a friend of mine. We had bought the tickets, but we're sneaking in because it's late, and screaming our lungs out right here at an Usher concert, having the best time of our lives. I've probably been to so many different musical events that happen at this place here. And one thing that I discovered actually as I joined Transaction Capital and as I continued to join Webuycars is that this particular venue was actually originally intended to be a permanent motor showroom where people can view and test drive a variety of cars all under one roof. So exactly what Webuycars is using this facility for is exactly what it was intended for. So that for me was absolutely fascinating, because even though this was built so many years back, it was never used for what it was actually built for and intended for. But instead, in 1998, the venue was then launched as a multi-purpose entertainment venue. And so I really want to commend Webuycars today, because this is really going full circle in terms of we are now making use of this venue in the way that it was intended many years back. And so, once again, well done, Fun, well done the executive team, well done everyone for your contribution to seeing this day as it is today. As we come to a close of our program this morning, I'd love to invite another phenomenal woman, phenomenal woman who is going to be speaking at our program today. She is currently the Rtmc board chairperson, and she will be closing off for us with a vote of thanks by the Rtmc. And her name is Miss Nomusa Ufamadi. Welcome, ma'am.
Pictures. Yeah,
Honorable Minister of Transport, Ms. Sindisiwe Chikunga, my colleagues, members of the board of Rtmc present here today,
CEOs of Rtmc, Advocate Makosini Msidi, Webuycars, Mr. van der Veld, Artia, Mr. Matsibela Moloi, Kia South Africa, Mr. Gary Scott, Insurance Crime Bureau, Mr. Gard de Klerk, Group CEO of Transaction Capital Ltd, Mr. David Howells, Webuycars Executive, Rtmc Executives, National Department of Transport senior officials that are present here today, ladies and gentlemen. Mine is the simplest of tasks. I have been asked to say a vote of thanks to all those who inspired and conspired to bring this important partnership between Rtmc and Webuycars into life today. The merits of this private-public partnership have been eloquently extolled by those who stand before me, the Minister, the CEO of Rtmc, as well as the CEO of Webuycars. We thank the shareholders of our two organizations for visionary leadership that actually gave birth to what we are celebrating today. Thanks. They inspired our respective boards and the two sets of executive management to run with the idea and take it over the line. We are confident that the management and employees of the Rtmc, as well as their Webuycars interlocutors, will take advantage of this project to improve the quality of service we render to our people here in South Africa and even beyond. In conclusion, a special word of thanks to all those who made this event the resounding success that it is. I thank you all, and I would also like to say, halala, halala, Rtmc, halala. Halala, Webuycars, halala. Thank you.
Where's my photo?
I do not want to send.
Now I'm so
Technically, pictures of
Thank you very much for that, Mr. Noble Samuel. As we come to a close, I'd like to say some final announcements before we allow for the minister to then exit and he's the baby this morning. So just some final announcements in closing. For one-on-one media interviews, I'd like to ask that the media houses to see the Rtmc and Webuycars communicators in order to start facilitating the one-on-one interviews. So please make sure that you are aligned with the right officials from the organizations in order for interviews to take place. Food and refreshments will now be served. And also, please remain seated as our minister and her delegation exit. As we close today, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for attending this momentous occasion. A warm applaud to all of you for being here today and for making this possible. Thank you to Rtmc, thank you to Webuycars. Please enjoy the rest of the morning.